So, what do we make of this? He's talking about retiring. Now there's a rumor that Rob Pelinka would trade him to the Golden State Warriors. What would be the compensation going back the other way? How would that possibly work? We heard LeBron in the shop talking about playing with Steph earlier in the year, and then Steph talking about LeBron. And this isn't like Team LeBron against Team Steph when you're drafting for an All-Star game, John. I mean, how would this even work? Financially, he makes $47 million next year and over $50 the following year. You could redo the deal, obviously, but for player compensation, what are we talking about? How insane is this rumor?
First of all, you're not going to like it because when I saw...
You're trading everybody. Wiggins is gone.
Well, that's it. I mean, I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just telling you for salaries to match up. Poole's gone, Wiggins gone, probably Kuminga gone. They'd probably want somebody like that. So that's first of all, the trade itself. But then do you want a guy, and look, I got a ton of respect for LeBron, everything he's not, whatever. Just he's one of the best of all time, and I'm not into, you and I are both not into GOAT debates and everything like that, but whatever. He's probably on the Mount Rushmore, however you want to say it. He's really good. But at 38 and talking retirement, are you just going to say to hell with it? And here's, our starting lineup is Clay, Curry, LeBron, Draymond, and whatever. And you're going to give up
Looney.
everything
We're
else.
keeping Kevon
Looney. That's your five. That's a great five.
He's more than whatever. Yeah,
it's a great five, but you're completely capped out. You can't really add anything. You got veteran minimum. Maybe a couple of guys would want to come play with you with that kind of a team to chase a ring. But first and foremost, before we get to who you would have to give up, would you want that?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, and then Bronny James would be coming off the bench, I guess, in a year after he goes one and done at USC. And is he even an NBA player? I think the whole thing is media-driven here. He's talking about retiring 1 minute. Why would Rob Pelinka trade him? He has him under contract for one more year. So, he can opt out, he and Anthony Davis, the following year. But why would the Lakers trade him to the Warriors? Why would they do that and put that team together? Now, whether or not they have any depth, and then they're older players, you're going to have to factor injuries, obviously, especially when you get to April, May, and June, and foul trouble, suspension. I mean, you lose one or two of those guys, you don't have enough. But, I mean, and I admire LeBron, the way he played this year, more than probably the last several years. I mean, going back to his younger days where he really made an effort to guard people, he would fit in. There's no doubt. He'd be a fantastic piece here. But, to your point, he's 38. He's already brought up the R word. So, how long is he going to take here to giving up all? I would have done this for Kevin Durant, and I was the one guy out there last summer when Durant, demanded to be traded from Brooklyn on June the 30th, and nothing wound up happening. Do the Warriors regret not going to get Kevin Durant? I do. I think, everything that happened this year, you wouldn't want to put Wiggins in that deal, but if you had to get Durant, Wiggins and Kuminga and Poole and Wiseman, look at what you got now. But to do it for LeBron, and I know Kevin's older as well, but he's early 30s, mid-30s, where LeBron's older 30s, later 30s. And then just the baggage. I mean, we should also almost open this up to a Danny's Big Poll tomorrow. Does Dub Nation want LeBron James to be a member of the Warriors? Seriously? I mean, how would that even fly after all? And we're seeing weird things, obviously. Tom Brady's buying a piece of the Las Vegas Raiders. The whole thing is just weird. But, I mean, after all the contentious battles with him, 4 straight years in the NBA Finals, John, beating him 3 times, playing him this year, losing to them in 6. I mean, from the basketball standpoint, how would you possibly make the trade? How would it work financially? And, as far as players going back the other way, why would the Lakers do that? Why would the Warriors do that? And would you throw Bob Myers in the trade and get Rob Pelinka back the other way? I mean, how would you do it? And then, do we want to do it? From a sports fan perspective, do we ever want to see LeBron James take off the purple and gold and put on the blue and gold?
I don't, because now let's look at 2 scenarios. Okay, so they win a championship. They win a championship with LeBron, which they could very well do, and then he rides off into the sunset, whatever he's going to do. He's got 2 years left on that deal this year and then a player option. And then you're completely gutted. I mean, is that worth one more championship? I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you assured me they're going to win it, I mean, how are you even going to make the deal?
I'm just saying, like,
honestly,
if you give up all those guys and your lineup,
well, why would the Lakers trade him? Why would they trade LeBron James? And would James want to come here? Whole thing is just weird to me. And the other part of it is
he wants to win championships. He said at the end in his press conference he doesn't care about conference championships. He wins championships. Does he have a better chance with that group to win a championship? Yes. Than what he currently has with the Lakers, and knowing that D'Angelo Russell's a free agent and Rui Hachimura is a free agent, and he's got a number of guys, Austin Reeves. So there's a number of guys. So they're kind of uncertain, and you don't know what Anthony Davis is going to bring.
And
night
the Lakers
tonight.
would do that. The Lakers would trade LeBron James for that. What would you have to trade? Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole.
I'm still working on it because
Jonathan
you're still
Kuminga.
short.
Bob Myers has to go on the deal for Rob Pelinka, and they were together at the Wasserman Group, and I think there was a contentious relationship between them, so I'm not sure. But if Bob does stay, who makes this trade? This is Mike Dunleavy's first move, is to trade for LeBron James. I mean, you know what it is people have websites, and they got to move content, and they got to talk about things, and they float it out, and people just they concoct it. It's media-driven, and I'm not sure. I mean, but for Durant, I would have cleared everything out to get Kevin Durant. Because I think Kevin, even though he's got an
more time,
factor,
right? You got more time.
He's younger. You would think, although Kevin, he does get hurt a lot. LeBron was hurt this year, but LeBron's already talking about retiring. Now, if he comes here, it'd have to be an Aaron Rodgers situation where you'd have to guarantee you he's going to play out the rest of Steph's contract. But beyond all that, the whole thing to me is just ridiculous. But people are talking about it. I mean, do we even want it? Do you want LeBron James a Warrior? Or do you want to beat LeBron James no matter where he goes? And hopefully he stays with the Lakers and we build this great rivalry. But, I mean, it's just, to me, it's just fabricated by the media. I can't believe there's any seriousness to it. Because the first thing is Bob. Is he going to be with the club or not? And Bob, what we're hearing now, Raymond Ritter's in New York a little longer than he thought. So the Bob Myers press conference is going to be next Tuesday, I think, is what's going to happen. And we'll take it for you live. But, I mean, there's just so much up in the air now. And, we thought about Draymond Green playing with LeBron James. We thought Draymond going to the Lakers. I mean, seriously? LeBron James to the Warriors?
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
All right, I'm working on the trade machine right now. Okay.
Who else you got to throw in there? Wiggins, Kuminga, Poole.
This is what works. Here. This is where this camera comes in. This camera comes in handy.
Okay. I got it. Nice.
Can you read that?
Yeah, a little small.
That works.
Give it to me. Who else we taking back from salary from them?
Max Christie. You got to take it back. It's complicated, but the trade that works is Wiggins, Poole, and Kuminga for LeBron and Max Christie, who was their first-round pick out of Michigan State. They don't need him. He didn't do anything. So that's just to make the salaries work. So that's what your deal is. You're giving up Wiggins, Poole, and Kuminga essentially for LeBron.
Can't we do Wiggins and Poole and keep Kuminga?
No.
And not take him back? You got to take back Christie?
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit. I mean, if you didn't want to add Kuminga, I don't know if you could get him. I guess you could put in Poole and some other small pieces that you could put in GP2 instead of Kuminga. You could do things like that. So I don't know. I would think if I'm the Lakers, I would.
I vote
Kuminga.
No. Yeah. I'm not doing that.
Look,
I think that's preposterous.
I love sports radio conversations as much as anybody, and I love stoking the fire and having a bunch of fun with this. I don't see it. The reason why, like you said, there's rumors out there that he would do it. There's the audio from from the barber shop where LeBron said he'd like to play with Curry. I mean, of course,
why would
everybody
the Lakers do that? If the Lakers trade LeBron and they bring those three there with Anthony Davis, where are they in the West?
Which Poole you get?
Playoff team?
Is Kuminga any good?
Well, I mean, Jordan Poole's going to be a good player. Assume Poole and Kuminga. Those are upside players. They're going to have bad games. They're going to have bad years. They're human beings. They're not machines. But they're good players, and Wiggins is a good player right away. But if those guys are in your starting lineup with Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis, is that good enough to win if you're the Lakers? Why would you do that?
The only reason you do it is you'd look at yourself, and I don't think you would with LeBron James. You'd look at yourself and say, we can't win the West, right? You'd say, we can't win a championship even with LeBron James. I don't think that would be the case. If you just got to the Western Conference Finals with LeBron James, now you could lose Hachimura. You could go out and get Kyrie. I mean, there's a lot of – they'd have to renounce –
I'd go get Draymond Green if I'm not.
And they could possibly do that too. To get Kyrie Irving – They'd lose just about everybody. I mean, I don't think D'Angelo Russell's that big of a loss, but Rui Hachimura, they'd have a tough time signing Reeves.
They would have a tough time signing Reeves?
If they wanted to go out and get Kyrie and he wanted the money that he probably wants. But again, it's the Lakers saying to themselves, we could get this big haul. You'd probably have to put some picks in there. We could get this big haul, and we don't think we can win the West anyway. And I just don't think the Lakers think like that. They're a major market team with LeBron James. Why would they think? And they just went to the Western Conference Finals. Why would they think they couldn't win it? You know?
Yeah. To me, it's just media driven. One thing I was thinking about with LeBron looking to retire, he has eligibility left in college. Could he go play at USC with Bronny if he did that? Or because of the billions of dollars he made
I think the billions
in
of
professional
dollars,
sports,
yeah.
John, he would no longer be eligible.
I don't think he's
But
eligible.
He hasn't used up any eligibility in college.
I think the big Nike contract that he signed the moment even before he stepped foot on the NBA.
You don't think USC would find a way to get him on the floor?
Oh, they would. Are you kidding? College the way that it is right now?
He could have an alias.
Could you imagine the deals that he could get as a college student? Oh, my gosh. Blow things out of the water.
I've seen him before.
Imagine his dorm room. Be amazing. Remember Josh Rosen had that hot tub? What would LeBron's look like? Be unbelievable. It's probably what I'd like to see Bronny's dorm room. My kid as a freshman had to live in the dorms. It was required. I wonder if they're required to live in a dorm at USC and what would Bronny's dorm
That's
room
more
look
likely
like.
to happen than LeBron James comes to the Warriors. He goes to USC.
Well, and that's the whole thing, too, just to put a capper on this whole thing. So, first of all, text line is wide open. You want LeBron on the Warriors. Just wondering. But
Hell no!
The second part of it is, so he's got a player option. The whole point of that is, and I'm with you.
He'd have to redo his contract.
Right. 'Cause I don't know how good Bronny is, but let's just say for the sake of conversation, he's a one-and-doneer. I don't know that he is, but let's just say that he is. So what is LeBron going to do? He's going to play this season out, and then he's going to opt out of his deal, and wherever Bronny goes, he's going to play for, the league minimum? I mean, he's been saying forever
play in Europe.
Well,
is his son even an NBA player?
I don't know. But he's been saying that that's his dream, right, to hang on long enough so his kid plays.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say that Charlotte takes his kid, just for, again, a bad team. Charlotte takes Bronny James. All right, what are you going to do, go play in Charlotte for $5 million? I don't think he's going to go do that.
Charlotte?
No, I'm just throwing a team out there. Some team that's going to be in the lottery next year. Like who? So he's going to opt out. Bronny gets drafted by Team X, and he's going to go play for the vet minimum. LeBron James. Okay, let's see how that works
James
out.
will be a Warrior when his old man comes here.
Yeah,
Save a roster spot for him, Mike Dunleavy.
Yeah, we didn't get LeBron James, but we got Bronny. What's he like? 6'3" point guard? Maybe he's good. I don't know.
Well, I mean, one thing LeBron kind of backed off a little bit was that notion. This is not Ken Griffey Jr. coming to play with Ken Sr.
Yeah, right.
I mean, is he even an NBA player? Let's see how good of a college player he is. You're putting a lot of pressure on the guy.